Herzlich willkommen beim Solarzentrum Berlin Podcast. Diese Folge ist ein wenig anders, als Sie es von uns sonst gewohnt sind, denn wir haben internationale Gäste zu Besuch, deshalb wird dies unsere erste Episode in englischer Sprache sein. Bleiben Sie dran. This year marks 25 years of partnership between Windhoek and Berlin, a collaboration built on shared learnings, cultural exchange, and long-term friendship between our communities. Over the years, this partnership has grown through various programs, cultural exchanges, educational initiatives, political cooperations, and professional training opportunities that connect people and ideas across the continents. As part of this ongoing collaboration, this project takes place in the energy sector. Our colleagues from Windhoek spent the past week here in Berlin, learning from our work at Solarzentrum Berlin and sharing their own expertise, perspectives, and experiences from Windhoek. Today's episode is dedicated to giving you a small insight into what this big exchange actually entails, how knowledge is exchanged, what challenges and opportunities exist in both cities, and how the partnership is shaping the future of sustainable energy. And of course, we'll talk about the next big milestone, the opening of the Solar Center Windhoek, scheduled for next year. Following our interview, we will share some insights on the 25 years of partnership and the story of who's accompanying this collaboration with the Solarzentrum Berlin and Solarzentrum Windhoek. Welcome to our first Solarzentrum podcast in English, actually. We are sitting together at the DGS right now with visitors from Namibia, Windhoek. And I would like for you to give a little bit of input on who you are, who's in this room, who are we going to listen for in the next 30 minutes, so that we know your stories. So please give me your name and maybe a little bit about your background.
Hi everyone, my name is Mike Kavalata, electrical engineer by profession. I'm working for the city of Windhoek, which is a local municipality. In fact, it's the biggest municipality for Namibia because we're in the capital city, which is Windhoek. So I'm an electrical engineer working in the renewable energy space, and solar is actually one of the biggest renewable energy sources.
Yeah, my name is Sisira Withanachchi. I'm one of the project manager from Berlin Agency for International Cooperation, BGZ, Berliner Gesellschaft für internationale Zusammenarbeit. So we are almost 42 years organization, which is belong to Chamber of Craft as well as Berlin Senat. And we're working for development of the people and communities.
Hi everyone, my name is Hekandjo. I am also working for the city of Windhoek. I head the Department of Electricity. And so I'm also quite passionate about solar, and I think we are in partnership with BGZ. And the idea is really to make this project a reality.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Joseph Mundilo. I am an electrical engineer by profession, specializing in renewable energy projects. Basically, I deal with any sourcing of energy, alternative energy sourcing that is not conventional, that is not fossil fuels. So it can be wind energy, it can be geothermal, but specifically on this project, which is the solar center, we are focusing mostly on the solar PVs. So I am part of the technical team for the solar center for Windhoek, and yes, we look forward to a very fruitful cooperation.
Thank you so much. And we have one more person in the room.
Berit Müller from the German Association of Solar Energy. You know us from the podcast. I will not spend time on that, but we have the honor to have our guests here for 2 weeks in the Solar Center, and we are very happy about that.
Thank you. The Solar Center is going to open next year. Is that correct? When will it open, and what are the plans, the core missions and values that connects us and that both solar centers have?
Yeah, that's correct. We intend to officially open the solar center for Windhoek next year, that is 2026 in April. And in terms of the connections, or which are now basically our core missions and value as to why we want to actually establish this and why we are so excited about it, is because first of all, Namibia is a country that actually import most of its energy from our neighboring countries, mostly South Africa. And this is coming from coal generation plants, obviously, which is fossil fuel. So the energy import cost actually is so exorbitant, it's high. So this is what increases the energy cost in Namibia. So by having a solar center, we aim to actually increase the local generation of electricity from renewable energy, which is solar, and this will significantly reduce the cost of electricity for all our residents. And then obviously by having local generation from renewable energy, we also reduce the carbon footprint, which is bad for the environment and which is causing all this global warming. It affects all of us, the way that we live. And as well as the project, we expect a huge uptake of our residents to be on renewable energy. And this is going to create indirect and direct benefit in terms of job creation, because with the uptake of solar, there will be a lot of skilled people that are actually required to work into the solar space.
Maybe we can start with explaining what is solar energy and what can it be used for.
Solar energy is energy from the sun. This means that the sun rays can be transformed into electricity, which can be used for several energy needs in the homes or for business. Basically, it can be used for cooking, solar cookers, and it can also be used for electricity production. On top of that, it can also be used for solar thermal systems, where you can heat your water using the sun's irradiance.
So maybe we can go into the part where we show a little bit of the differences. Since now you, Berit, have input on what it's like in Windhoek, maybe you can give us an insight on what are the differences in Berlin. What does the energy supply look like at the moment in Berlin?
I would see the biggest difference in that we need heat, but coming to electricity, I rather see similarities. We have fossil electricity, and we get our electricity from our surroundings. So Brandenburg is bringing electricity to us, and we want to change to solar energy from Berlin roofs. So what we are doing is to increase the solar share in Berlin. We want to reach 25% of the used electricity in Berlin from solar from our own roofs.
How common are solar installations on private homes in Windhoek today? Or who has solar energy on their roof already? What is the kind of group or the community that already is using it? And where do you see a target group for the solar center? Joseph?
Yes, so the solar market in Windhoek is pretty much premature. Yeah, it's pretty much premature, although it's an advanced technology, which is not also complicated in terms of installation. But we do have a couple of solar installations around Windhoek, especially on commercial buildings, as well as the middle income suburbs. The uptake of solar PV systems in the informal settlement is quite low. Although we do have a very rich irradiance level in Windhoek, we still feel like the gap should be actually closed and narrowed so that the uptake can increase in these informal areas.
Yeah. Which factors, economic, environmental, or political, drive the adoption of solar energy in Windhoek?
Yeah, I think generally the biggest problem is that it's the information that is actually not there. This is the biggest factor. A lot of people know about renewable energy or solar, but they don't know with exact numbers as to how much they can save and what is really in for them, so that they can be able to feel and see that once they actually do the solar uptake, then they will actually be better off because they will be saving. So I will strongly believe that it's mostly just the information that is actually not there, because the technology is quite matured and people know about it, but that acceptance that renewable energy is also another source of supply, just like your fossil fuel, is not really there, and people don't really know the exact benefit that they can get from there. Because I mean, we have some targeted programs from the government that is actually supporting the residents in terms of investment, like getting a loan so that they are able to have solar. But a lot of this information is also probably not known by the people. So I would really say it's mostly just the information that is actually not there, because every other condition is perfect. We have enough sunshine, we have government support. I think it's just really the information that needs to get to the people.
So where can they find that information? Maybe you can give some information on the Solarzentrum. Where is it going to be? Where can the people find you? Give out your location whenever it will start in 2026, and also your social media, so that people can get information even though they might not be able to reach you personally.
This is actually exactly why we want to exist and ensure that the information gap is actually bridged. This is what the Solar Center is really all about. We want to ensure that people have all the information they need. They can clearly see the benefits for them. So we are going to be operating or officially open in April in the year 2026. We're going to be located into almost the CBD area, quite central, where everybody can access us. It's called Thrift Street. And we know not everybody will have access to reaching us, because I mean, we have quite a diverse community and living far away from the city center. So this is why we are also going to have targeted outreach programs and public awareness to reach every corner of the city. And by also us having local representative, what we are calling champions or multipliers, that are going to be living into this community, and they will be living proof of the Solar Center, because they will be spreading this information and sharing all the necessary information within their communities. We also understand it's the information era, or the age where we are, is everything is social media, so we can't rule that one out. We are going to be active on our social media platforms: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. I think the Gen Z will know better, but yeah, this is what we intend to do, and these are all publicly known social handle for the city of Windhoek, where all this information will be put. So you can reach us in various ways.
Thank you. You already cut on it a little bit, but you just said the goal, that's actually the goal for the Solar Center, right? To get the information out to the people, and maybe also you can highlight the positive outcome for the community if they implement solar energy. Why is it so important that solar energy reaches every community, and what does it do for the community actually?
We can dive into it a little bit deeper. The uptake of solar energy will allow our residents to actually save on their energy cost, because I mean, it's proven, and these are some of the concepts that will go with the clients when they actually come and visit us, just where we can show them how much it is that they can save from their current energy source to the solar. So for the communities out there, it's really just putting money back into their pocket from having a reduced energy bill. That's number one. And also, we have quite a diverse community, as I said. Some of them don't even have access to electricity. So this speaks directly to them, where we can provide them with an alternative source of supply so that they actually have energy or electricity into their houses, so that they can actually reduce all the eventualities that comes with the current sources of energy that they are using that can actually cause damage to the environment and also to their properties.
Where do you see the biggest growth opportunity in Windhoek for the solar sector over the next maybe 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, solar is a very interesting space that we are finding ourselves in. For example, our partner city, Berlin, already has regulations in place to actually increase the uptake of solar PV systems. So such regulations actually inspire us, and would also want to actually tap into that way of forward thinking. So we would wish that even within the next 1 or 2 years, we'll also have a regulation that actually prohibits, or that actually encourages building or property owners to actually have a certain percentage of their roof space covered with solar PVs. That is actually going to be the biggest acceleration in terms of solar uptake. So we really see a very good increase in solar PV systems on homes as well as also in the informal settlement, knowing that there is also systems that are very flexible in terms of installation. We now have these lightweight solar PV systems and also solar PV plug-in systems. And on top of that, we also do have other organizations that are also anchoring and supporting the renewable energy industry, such as the Renewable Energy Industry Association of Namibia. So all these parties are actually bringing the renewable energy experts together to accelerate this process. We also do have wonderful subsidies that the government subsidies in terms of financing this for solar PV systems for all the local community members that do not actually have sufficient funds to actually finance their solar PV systems. So in 5 years, we would really want to see an increase in this 1% solar PV installations, at least to 30% of all the homeowners in Windhoek.
Now, you spent the past week here in Berlin. What were the main activities or meetings you had during your stay, and what are you still going to do?
It's been an amazing 2 weeks. It continues to be. We are excited. We are happy with the different learnings that we are getting. The team that is hosting us, including yourself, we're really learning a lot, and these are the type of exchanges that would actually encourage. We've been seeing different experts, from the different associations, from the different people involved into the solar space, from the government perspective as well, and then also seeing private projects that have been implemented in the different communities actually in Berlin. So it's been exciting. We are still on that journey, and one of the things that also stood out is the PV plug system that is actually here. I think it's going to be massive for us, because this speaks directly to some of our communities in the informal settlement areas, and they can actually use this as a source of supply, which is obviously better than what they're currently using. And then I think it's just the whole process of what happens into a solar center in terms of consultation from the time of making appointment, the different tools that is actually being used to ensure that the consultations are actually going smooth. And then, the biggest one as well is we've also seen that now there's different types of solar systems and actually modules. We are usually accustomed to your normal solar PVs that are obviously a bit heavier. So when you have to do anything on the roof, you need to think about reinforcing or do some amendments to the roof structure so that the integrity is intact to handle that additional weight. But I mean, we have seen different models, very light panels that we can use for all type of scenarios. So it's been great.
From your perspective, what are the key differences between Windhoek and Berlin, and were there any surprises?
We have came to learn the massive support that the government has for the community, especially in terms of actually enforcing government regulations that actually accelerate the process of PV intakes. And it's wonderful also to note that you have a company that actually assists property owners when it comes to installations. So they take that ownership, which is the company called Stadwerk. Yeah, that's a very good initiative that we actually picked up from Berlin. Perhaps we could also replicate and also have an enforcer company back in Windhoek. We also picked up that the collaboration in terms of different professions, such as physicians and architects working together, especially to preserve certain buildings such as national monuments or heritage sites, in order to actually design certain solar PVs so they can match the aesthetics of the building and actually preserve that aesthetics.
Well, I know you guys have to get to your next appointment. Thank you so much for this interview and the input you gave us. We hope to see you again, and maybe the Windhoek Solarzentrum can also have a podcast so you can inform your community about topics that sometimes seem very difficult, but I'm pretty sure you guys can break it down for the different communities to understand and to make solar energy a leading power in Windhoek. Before we go on, a quick editorial correction. We're of course referring to Berlin's goal of reaching 25% of electricity generation. Okay, and now let's use the last 3 minutes to speak a little bit about how this partnership between Berlin and Windhoek actually came about and who accompanied the project. I will hand over the mic to Sisira and O'Brien.
Yeah, the Solar Center for Windhoek is being developed within the long-standing city partnership between Berlin and Windhoek. The partnership established in 2000 and reaffirmed through a joint action plan signed by both mayors in 2023, stand as a model of collaborative, forward-looking municipal cooperation. This year, we are celebrating, as we mentioned, the 25th anniversary of the city partnership between Windhoek and Berlin. The project is led by Berlin side by the State Office for Development Corporations, called LEZ, located within the Senate Department for Economics, Energy and Public Enterprise. The LEZ means Landesstelle für Entwicklungszusammenarbeit, plays a central coordinating role. It supports the strategic orientation of the project, strengthening the dialogue between both cities, contributes to the capacity building and ensure that the joint work align with the Berlin's border development policy commitment. So we, BGZ, implementation support is providing for the project, and we are bringing decades of experiences in the international project management and facilitate the practical planning, coordination and executing of the activities in the Solar Center project. BGZ works closely with the city of Windhoek to co-create the concept of the new Solar Center and to ensure that the project is managed efficiently, transparently, and collaboratively. Hand over to O'Brien.
Thank you, Sisira. Yeah, so on the Namibian side, the City of Windhoek is a central partner. Several departments within the City of Windhoek, namely Electricity Department, Infrastructure Department, Finance, International Relations, will actually be directly involved in shaping and realizing this project. Their commitment basically ranges from the development of the concept for the Windhoek Solar Center, the renovation of the facility, and also organizing community-based consultations, and ultimately operating the center as a long-term municipal service to the public. Beyond the municipal administrations, the project will be embedded in a broader network of cooperation. So local universities in Namibia, regulatory bodies and community representatives, civil society organizations and technical experts in both cities will contribute knowledge, feedback, and local perspectives. This multi-stakeholder approach will help and ensure that the Solar Center genuinely reflects the needs of Windhoek's residents and also contribute to a just and sustainable energy transition. Together, these partners, mainly Berlin LEZ, BGZ, and the City of Windhoek, and a wide circle of engaged institutions are working hand in hand to promote renewable energy, strengthen local capacities, and advance climate change justice. This project demonstrates how city partnerships can transform shared ambitions into concrete and impactful action.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for coming together. We wish you the very best and hope to visit you soon in Windhoek. Das war's für unsere heutige Folge vom Solarzentrum Berlin.